my poop, my face with food.
Okay.
You didn't do it correctly.
So, exactly where our cleric has been while we've been gallivanting through Alexandria, I don't know. Has he traveled with us? Has he accompanied to keep a close?
Went and hung out in the temples and kind of, did some reading, talked to the...
I was gonna say, I guess he would have traveled westward with us until he separated as he went west and took a boat to the Ivory Peninsula to go on his way.
I need to recuperate from getting my ass handed to me. So that was vacation for me.
Okay.
Hanging out in museums and temples and shit.
So,
it seems like something I would do anyway. That's something that regular Brett, not character Brett, would do anyway.
we have,
Not so much temples, but
after arriving in Alexandria, we split off into our separate ways to explore separate parts of the area or take care of business at hand. Yeah. Algernon and Kit
Had some nice little bit of arson, and then we were going to the museum. It was great.
You guys did arson without me?
Oh, yeah. It was good arson, too.
Oh, wait, I'm lawful. I can't do that. Damn it.
Oh, yeah, no, it was...
I'm not holding you to alignments.
Trust me, my character is very chaotic, and is good... The chaotic, yes.
The more important alignment of this campaign is, are you on the side of progress or the side of tradition?
we don't really care too much about arson.
Yeah, but which one's good and which one's evil?
Yes.
Yes and no.
I just want to get into politics.
It's fine as long as you don't get caught.
That's kind of part of the point.
Naturally, I went with the professor because, of course, I did.
You had to babysit.
Yeah.
Babysit the mom.
And
Yeah.
we are at the point. It has been several days that we have spent in Alexandria, and we are returning to our agreed upon meeting place.
Did I get the vials of praise in this time?
Yes.
Okay, so I already know that is what it is.
Yeah.
And water.
Orange juice and a few non-toxic ingredients designed to create the glow.
Basically, the thing is, the stuff you would ingest if you bit into a glue.
No, I said
that's
non-toxic.
toxic. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
I'm still alive, and I bit into a glue.
You did not drink it. You did not inject it into your bloodstream. I'm pretty sure if you injected glow stick goo into your bloodstream, it would make you sick.
It did make me stop chewing on
No.
glue sticks, though.
There is a video of a guy a picture of a guy who injected glow stick into his arm. No one knows what happened to him. But, his arm is going all the way down to here.
He's a ghost man.
He probably either had to go to the hospital or was dead. But,
Really? Made his veins glow?
yeah,
That's
temporarily.
really
Sort of awesome. Anyway,
It's
so back
awesome
on
in a
topic.
dangerous
Okay,
way.
let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
Does that mean your vein would glow?
Kit and Algernon are the first to arrive at the room that we had booked as our meeting place. It's a private chamber with several adjoining chambers that each of us have been staying in, but this is where we've agreed to meet. We arrived to find a very unwelcome scene. The professor and Yvain are situated in the middle of the room. In one of Yvain's hands, or by one of her hands, is a bottle that has dropped to the floor and shattered. The professor is flailing about frantically and mumbling and making unintelligible babble along the lines of, "Brandy! It was just brandy! What happened? There's no way... Hey, this could... It was just brandy!" Yvain is unconscious on the floor.
Great.
I can't take him anywhere.
Bummer.
He also apparently can't hold your liquor.
Professor! Robert! What in the world have you done to Yvain? Nothing. It was brandy. I swear, it was just brandy. She's had brandy. What do you mean it was just brandy? The potion, she was supposed to drink the potion so she wouldn't have any of the injections. But it was just brandy. How was brandy supposed to stop the injections?
Would I be able to relay the information I discovered this?
Yes, Professor,
You can jump in at any point.
Okay, well, first off, I'd be curious at the idea that he would continue this ruse instead of coming clean in the time we've been gone. I immediately become quite accusatory about the fact that all he was doing was injecting what was basically a placebo made of probably painful acidic orange juice along with just some things to make it glow.
I immediately punch the professor in the face.
Yeah!
You knocked some of his teeth out.
Yes.
Well, it's a mummy. I don't even know if they're in there that well, to be honest.
That's the point.
I punch him in the face and he collapses into a pile of bones. He reforms shortly.
At this point, I'm trying my best. At this point, I'm trying my best to tend to her, although I don't really know much about medicine, so I'm not doing very much other than just shaking and,
Waving your paws about.
yeah, kind of upset, obviously.
Macarena.
Yeah. I'm just over there.
It's your dance of healing.
It's a dance of healing.
It's an Egyptian historical
With
cure.
with a few poetic words and the strings of a harp, I cast Calm Emotions to get us back in a functioning state.
After you punch the professor.
After I punch the professor.
Everybody needs to calm down!
Everyone calm down!
Perhaps you should consider calming yourself down.
Because I know there's been violence, mostly mine, but I know there's been.
If I'm not allowed to kill him, you are certainly not.
I didn't say you weren't allowed to kill him. I just said we probably should determine whether or not you try.
Oh, I did.
It failed. And then he got to punch him. So,
Yeah, you would probably just crack it.
Let's rephrase. If I don't get to kill him, you definitely don't get to kill him.
Professor, what do we know? I gave her the bottle of brandy. Just an unlabeled old bottle of brandy. I tasted it myself to be certain of its quality beforehand. And
You know that.
oh, they
what do you mean you tasted it? Never mind.
Oh, so it's because he drank mummy's saliva. Is what's going on here.
Ew. You don't have saliva.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
With a insight check, the professor that we worked out in advance, the professor is able to recognize something. It's probably from the possession. When I was dead, there was Yvain's soul. It's not like the rest of ours. It's pieced together much like her body. It wouldn't surprise me if the stress of housing a second soul, the soul of the pharaoh, was enough to cause damage to her. Roll.
They no.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, they is.
Oh, joy. That's a 10.
What's that mean? Or are we allowed to know?
You can describe it. You don't have to describe it as it is on the table, but describe it so that it fits the description.
My unconscious body shudders and warps and it swells to twice its original size.
Okay, as long as it doesn't explode, that's pretty good.
Professor?
I'm convinced that I believe Sullivan based on my role, so I was going to possibly get accusatory. But, well, no, it depends. Am I, as a person, allowed to know whether he's lying about this whole thing? Or would that be something that even, like...
He confirmed the orange
I
juice.
wouldn't recommend tilting back in that chair, by the way.
If I die.
He confirmed the orange
Worry
juice
about breaking the chair.
juice, and up until now, did you make, what was your insight?
Well, I rolled a 3, which would mean that I would probably not believe him then, because believing the truth would be, So I might become kind of accusatory at this point that maybe he was trying to off Yvain to get out of his, his duties, or get out of having to explain himself more or less.
Yeah, mine isn't much better.
Rip Sullivan.
We keep punching him in the face. That's all we do.
Well, he deserved it.
Yeah.
This is the Punch Sullivan show.
Professor, I can't and rightly, if I'm in a way to leave your hysterical stories, does it not make more sense that in your crude, civilized way, as you attempted to poison Yvain, aim to be rid of her? Luckily, he rolls a 20.
Okay, we're convinced.
No,
Well, I'm probably convinced.
definitely super convinced.
Alright. Skipping over the roleplay, because I'm not terribly good at roleplaying, so
Oh.
That's fair.
I tend to be not quite flamboyant enough about it.
To play Sullivan?
Or not quite eccentric enough in the right ways. My friend, the one I mentioned might be interested in the Great Fire. She's a doctor here. She's a doctor. If I'm correct, he's in town. The tuberculosis sanitarium, the new one that was recently built for English patients. And she was invited shortly after we left to tour it. If she's in town, he's been my personal physician for years. It might be worth. He might be able to tell us something.
That seems reasonable.
The professor retorts, and at this point, I'm just going to role-play third person for the professor. The professor retorts that he doubts this illness is of a mundane nature, and is most likely a corruption of the soul. It would be of far more use for him to gather his instruments back in England, and so that a proper study can be made. Regardless, we have a doctor here. I call for a bellboy and have a message sent to contact the doctor.
Whose stats I do?
Yeah.
Well,
Player knowledge, character knowledge.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I know a little bit more than everyone else too, just because I have the character sheet in.
I'm trying to get into what I need to do.
It's okay, I have a backup.
It takes roughly 2 hours for No, it takes roughly an hour and a half for the doctor to arrive. You can go ahead and roll again.
Well,
By this time,
as referred to as my previous stay.
You have fun.
Unless you just keep getting excessively large.
No. You turn into a blimp. You start floating.
Oh no.
Okay, there you go. I suddenly collapse unconscious.
So nothing changes.
You fell unconscious?
Yes.
His unconscious body fell unconscious.
He fell awake.
He fell double unconscious, guys.
Double plus unconscious.
Yeah. So this is the point where you have absolutely blacked out and are no longer hearing tidbits of conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
You were off in coma land.
The doctor arrives and has a chance to look over the patient. Make a medicine check.
Where is Madison?
The worst
I
kind.
see it. Part of the wisdom check. So I had 7.
What medicine?
The number written next to it is the number you
I
add.
have medicine is wisdom. That's weird.
Bring up my calculator. 24.
With the 24, you can recognize that this is...
Should I describe myself before?
You can't. Yeah. As she enters, this is what you see.
Okay.
He enters. As he enters, this is what you see.
So the door opens.
Sorry, I keep mixing up that she's playing a male character.
A rather tall, slight doctor-looking person walks in with a long brown leather mask, a rather wide-brimmed dark hat, long leather coat, and a leather bag in hand. Besides the leather coat, you can see that the person's hands and feet are that of a type of herring bird, with leather gloves around the most of the hand.
Not an uncommon...
Like wings.
Not
No,
exactly
you cannot see
wings.
the feathers of the bird.
You recognize this isn't an uncommon in an unheard of race in Europe. They usually aren't this far south. It's a section of the race known as Aramanu.
Okay.
I was gonna say, down here could also be an ibis creature.
We call him bird person.
Oh,
This
it's
is
like
not Rick and Morty.
it's like a
No,
beak
you
mask
can
with a
call-
beak.
you
That's
can call
awesome.
them outbirds, though.
His dark goggles gleam in the light of the room. Now, Algie, you took me away from a rather preposterous meeting I had with the locals here. What could honestly be going on that is more important?
Many things of interest to you, but that we can discuss later. But for the time being,
And the voice is muffled by the mask. I just can't do it.
Do your best pyro impression.
I can hold this over your face. It's bloody.
What?
Also, it's covered in
It's got
foxy fur.
fake. It's got fake blood.
It also has foxy
Oh.
fur.
Yeah. Yvain here seems to have fallen ill. The doctor seems to suspect it had something to do with a devastation of the soul.
The masked individual turns to the large man. Is this the patient? Pointing a dark claw at the body.
Yes, that would be Yvain. Please, whatever you can tell us.
He walks over, not really saying much to the rest of the room, opens the large leather medical bag and begins to examine Yvain. And then it was a 24 to medicine.
With a 24 and asking the various questions you would as while examining, you are able to determine in rather quickly that this is not a known and recognized illness. The symptoms seem to be far too random and pass far too quickly, and don't resemble any illness you are aware of. You are fascinated, but can discern nothing of its origin.
So he stands with a clawed hand on the bottom of the mask. A quiet clicking sound can be heard from inside the mask. Well, this is certainly no disease, blood-borne or other, that I have ever seen. The symptoms seem to come in flashes faster than any modern illness I have come
The
across.
professor reasserts that it is most likely an ailment of the soul. He suggests that perhaps the best course of action would be to gather supplies from his laboratory in London. Algae protests. We cannot simply trek back to London like this. They may not survive. Clearly, you said it was a Dr. Nicola who sent her to you. Surely he would know what ailment this might be, how to repair it.
I would agree with that. It's probably the best line of action, since I am not one for medicine of the soul. I am one of the body.
The professor doesn't so much disagree, but makes it clear that he will make a stop. He will depart in London to gather his instruments and meet the party in Germany, where Nicola is housed.
Algae, seeing how we are going to find the creator of this creature, would you like me to come along with you to Germany rather than finishing up my business here? Not that I am too impressed with their facilities here.
It would be very much a kindness, Miss Albert. Please and thank you. And with that,
She does send a note to the... She sends a note with the... Damn it, I hate you. You got me confused. He sends a note with the bellboy to finish up his work of not being impressed with the sanatorium.
And with that, I'm going to shortcut us through the journey to Germany. Because there's no real reason to go over that. I will, however,
Then we got on a boat.
I will, however, describe the airship. As the airship arrives, you notice very distinct features, things that to people in this world are relatively common, but I'm going to describe because to us they are not. The airship is a large vessel, very much like a British sailing ship. It's suspended aloft by a balloon that by no means would ordinarily carry its weight. Within the balloon, there's various glowing lights, and you are aware that these are various harness devils that have been contracted to carry the balloon and the ship.
I'm familiar with those.
Fine.
Totally.
It always surprises me that you don't skimp on the expenses, Algie.
It's simply the quickest vessel to get us from here to Germany. Now, please, let's board. By this point, you have awoken, and over the course of the roughly 12-hour journey, by airship to Germany, continue to suffer various symptoms at random.
I'm none too happy about this, and I have several choice words for the professor.
Who is not with us.
Well,
Albert-
the professor's with us, at least as far as London.
Right,
at which
right.
point he decides.
Albert does try
Should I
to...
kill him?
Not now.
Albert
Not until-
does try...
Not until after we have his instruments.
Is he now aware that he's not bound to the professor?
You were there for that conversation.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, and he
I was
was
making sure I
and he
remembered
was-
correctly.
and he was awake enough to process what happened.
Albert does try and give you
I
some
don't know
kind
if
of
you were awake
sedative.
enough to process everything, but it is certainly possible that we have explained such to you.
Albert does give you some level of sedatives to alleviate any pain you might be in, but that is the most he can do for the time being, not knowing what is actually causing
Well, looking
the
at this,
issue.
I'm sure that'll help.
Yes. You're not in as much pain.
Is that just like a list of random like?
It's a wild
Yeah.
search tale. It's a wild search
Am I allowed to read it? Because I'm kind of just curious.
You're welcome to read it. It's up to.
So how often do I roll on this?
I will give you a heads up when you.
Okay, because I know several of these last for quite a long time.
For roughly a minute.
Well, some of these last days.
Some of them, yes.
Right. I mean, if I roll on this every several minutes, that means I'm going to be generally perpetually under the day-long effects.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll have you roll on it while if we are in an encounter, I will likely have you roll at the start of the encounter.
Okay. What is a bloodied value?
Is that not a recognized term in 5th edition?
It's only 4.
Okay. Bloodied was half your hit points.
So it's a bloodied value.
So your bloodied half value would be half your hit points.
Okay.
If that would drop you below 0, you drop to 0.
Okay. Yikes. And what does it mean if I run out of saving throws?
Death saving throws?
Yeah.
That, I know, is still is a 5e mechanic.
Oh, as in if I...
But he would
if I-
need.
If I make... If I... Okay, I see what you mean.
Also, Albert does try to stabilize you in any way he can, but
There's not much he can do.
there's not much he can do.
Okay. As we arrive in
He tries.
Germany, Kit specifically is unaccustomed to the bright glare of a city that to him seems to be made mostly of glass. The buildings are, for the most part, taller than anything and you have seen in
Egypt.
in your homeland, and are constructed of dark stone and shimmering glass with adornments of brass, bronze, and steel. The city seems far more complex and convoluted to you than Alexandria. Likely not so much to the others in the party, as it's a European city and we understand and the layouts of such. You make your way rather quickly and hastily towards Dr. Nicholas Dracul's laboratory. As Algie knocks on the door, or it is opened and you are greeted by a dragonborn of a yellowish complexion.
Do I know him?
Yes, you would.
Silence, man, beast. You are suffering.
So I have met him?
You've met him, her name is Corin. And we won't deal with her too much, but I'm letting Raven voice her, as it is actually a previous character.
The door opens. Good day, Elaine. What are you doing back in these parts? Where is the doll?
Corin, is it... There's been an incident. Yvain is...
The shambling corpse is the doll now.
No, the shambling corpse isn't here.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
shambling
the
corpse.
Oh, right, he was
Figure out
the
that one.
Yeah.
Mubby.
My hands shudder and twitch and are gradually engulfed in a blue flame.
Awesome.
Corin looks down
This does not help.
You want to go
and makes a
do
face.
something with the flaming hands that may or may not be legal?
I snarl at you.
Corin looks down, makes a face.
That!
Oi,
I know.
looks like something's gone bollocks in your soul, I assume. I told that idiot something was going on. Here, come in.
You know about this?
Corin...
I've been working with Dracul for many years. I knew something would go wrong. Corin has a wide sweep of her clawed hand and lets everyone in.
Alright. And that's probably the most we'll deal with Corin.
Bye.
I don't get to keep
You
my
are the weakest link. Goodbye.
He's my kangaroo dragon, though.
Kangaroo dragon.
She's my,
Love
yeah,
it.
Butter dragon.
yeah, she was.
No.
She's based off a dragon in the Dragonology books, which was a kangaroo dragon, and she was from Australia. And I loved her.
Good eye.
She's
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
a thunder barbarian. You can read.
Yeah. So we are shown into the main hall of Nicola's laboratory. The walls are scrawled with various summoning circles and demonic symbols. From what the professor told all of you in advance, Nicholas is perhaps more eccentric than he is, and
There's only so much of a threshold for eccentricity we can have here, okay?
Yeah, I think we walk into the room and Albert looks around and goes,
Whoa.
"Oh, what a dark and
but a very intelligent and rational man. His studies involve the dealings with devils, demons, and other summonable entities. And
Wow, so his favorite kind of person.
What could possibly go wrong?
As long as it's not unnatural, I don't care.
Summoning demons.
Demons are natural.
He's not reanimating corpses, so I don't really care.
What?
and from what Nicholas explained to him, in constructing Yvain, he did something along the lines of binding the souls of various creatures together, along with the body, to animate it. Thus, she's not so much undead as possessed.
Definitely unnatural.
But I guess it's not Yvain's fault.
She's a construct more than she's an undead.
Right.
But I'm alive.
Do
why
you need to
shouldn't
get
I?
out the black eye shadow now?
I need to get my skeleton shirt I don't have.
What are we talking about?
The song on the radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me go get my eyeliner.
He doesn't understand music.
Bummer.
I don't understand culture, to be precise.
He doesn't understand culture, that is very true.
It's because he's a man beast.
But no, I
We're
think
talking
we
to
walk in and Albert kind of looks around.
Both of them.
What a dreary laboratory. Many of my students have been kicked out for this kind of scrawling.
These scrawlings are the summoning rites of half a dozen in separate devils, demons, and primordials. They are the pinnacle of my research. And you would be?
My name is Albert Carew. I am London's head
Oh,
doctor.
will the two of you just shut up? We have a patient. And Nicholas, Yvain is in dire condition.
Angry. Not that anyone can see it.
Suppose you wear a mask everywhere.
What he means to say is it seems that our dear friend, the professor, seems to have made Yvain unwell.
Or the shenanigans that they have gotten into in
He walks over and
They're one and the same.
he walks over and inspects you. You can tell that some of your stitches have begun to come undone, although part of that may just be you picking at them.
Yes. Do I still even need those?
They very much hold your body together.
well, the stitching could be done better though.
I'm sorry if my specialty is not surgery. Hey, I have much more important work to concern myself with.
I used to look away and just.
Are we gonna have a rat battle here? Because I feel like we're
take care of it.
I feel like we're gonna have a rat battle here.
It was not my purpose to care for it. I left Yvain in the capable hands of my good Dr. Sullivan.
Do you know anything of him, even? Capable?
We studied together in Oxford. I know him quite well.
I would not call him capable.
It seems that the doctor has been trying to give Yvain here some kind of blood poison with some kind of fruit juice and glowing material.
The orange mixture, yes, that was my idea.
What?
This doctor is just not having a fun time. You first get here and all you do is just get annoyed and then annoyed and then.
There is one
Quite clearly couldn't expect you to care for the doctor so innately if you didn't believe your life was on the line, could we? Algie very difficultly resists the urge to punch this man as well.
I just look away.
Do I have to roll to see if I resist punching him? Because I'm about ready.
Were you here for me explaining what a will check is?
No.
Oh,
It's the average of your constitution and wisdom
yeah.
bonus.
Albert will not stoop to violence.
Round it up if it's a half.
Okay, so it's a 4.
Albert will not
Oh, well, then you have a pretty good will. Oh, but you
I
rolled
roll
a
a 10. That's not good.
We're just gonna murder him right here.
Albert will resist any violence with a man with this somewhere.
My guy
Make an
was
Any aspect of the
You
patient's well.
make an attack roll.
kid here has a high level of self-control versus bitter and grumpy people because of where he was raised. So he did not.
You swing. The doctor steps to the side.
Quite nonchalantly.
Nonchalantly.
Yeah, that's fine. I just turn my back on him. This is a waste of time.
Regardless, Nicholas. Yes. Please. Something is clearly wrong.
We could just put him down and then you can make another one.
This is highly unethical.
Did you say that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Highly unethical.
It would be the clear solution, yes.
It's highly unnatural. Why does it matter?
My body shudders again as the flames extinguish.
It's effectively a construct.
My
It's not
muscles
alive.
begin to fall.
Well, you can tell it's when
Well, currently Yvain is my patient, and by the Hippocratic Oath, I must do my best.
I will sort this out on my own. I don't want anything more to do with you so-called scientists.
Well, that's fine with me. Back to London then.
with them, so whenever there's like parts, we would
Yvain, I plead with you.
So it was just kind of looking through my budget.
Nicholas may be an utter fuck.
Interesting, yeah. I had no idea
With no utterances is the condition of a mortal life, but clearly you are in a state that Yeah.
Pretty much everything but the pieces. Like, I played, you know.
You are in a delicate state.
I dropped
Yeah.
off.
At least let him do an examination to understand what is going on.
And you're expecting me to do something about it, something helpful.
Interesting, because I haven't really known all that much.
I expect him to, on the threat of his reputation. I have certain connections with various is international organizations. And it would be unfortunate for you to lose your position at the university, wouldn't it, Nicola?
Oh, certainly. The university would be quite interested in hearing of a construct suffering and dying at the hands of.
And that was a 21 persuasion.
So you're pretty convinced.
Yeah.
Me?
No.
Nicholas.
Fine. Aim, strap her to the table. I will do no such thing. Yvain, if you would kindly lay on the table so that we may do an examination.
With a reluctant huff, I comply.
I'm mostly just exploring. I'm angry, but I don't want to keep thinking about it mostly. I'm looking at the
listening,
marbles and
looking around the office and whatnot.
I don't know if I continue to panic about it, I'm just going to make things worse.
I'm very
Last thing I want to
embarrassed
do
by
is
failing to punch him in the face.
I am more trying not to kill the person who might be able to help.
You
who
can-
I would consider a friend
I
at
do
this
have
point.
You,
from the hallway.
in looking around, you
It's okay.
find various. You notice various
I've
objects
only landed about
of
one or two things.
interest and note. Most of which you can tell simply by their appearance that they must clearly be cursed.
Ooh!
So you get a little bit of support from the dragon. The player gets a little bit of support from the dragonborn from the next room.
A little bit of support? Oh my god.
It's okay. You're not the first person to have missed. I've only landed about one or two hits on him in my servitude.
See, in my head, support was not going in that direction.
She's technically his employee.
Yeah, I guess it's her. Yeah, I don't actually have anything else in the works, but
She's there to punch the things in the face that he summons and can't take care of.
what are you looking for?
Yep. That is her
So
job.
you're the beat stick.
Corn
She's
is
the
a beat stick.
Dragonborn. What's that?
Look at Scar.
After a good hour of poking and prodding, of peeking,
Support. Kinky.
peeking between your stitches, and examining you in clearly unpleasant ways.
Possibly
Or
using
maybe
things that
pleasant.
glow and might require electricity and
Yes.
I give Algie an angry glare.
It's okay, you could almost feel the glaring at Nicola from Albert.
He does his best to soothe you. It doesn't work. I crit failed.
Tear his arm off.
How much of this is even necessary? Are you doing this because you're trying to help, or are you doing this because you enjoy it?
Well, I may certainly enjoy it. I assure you that every bit of my procedure is necessary.
I don't see how. It's not a problem with my body, so why are you prodding at my body?
Because your body is tied innately to the magical elements that connect. By examining the connections between your limbs and other various parts, I can determine the nature of your condition. Roll on the table.
What number is this?
Albert did at one point laugh, but it came out when we went,
Oh! My wounds suddenly stitch themselves back together.
Catching his scalpel inside them.
Great.
So you now have like a scalpel half sticking out of your arm.
Indeed, it would stand to reason that
I remove it.
examining the physical would
oh, Albert
possibly provide insight to the supernatural.
I would venture that my good friend is correct. It seems to be an ailment of the soul. From what I can tell, your excitement in Egypt exacerbated the already unstable condition of your pieced together soul. Or likely the magics holding you together have become far more unstable and are manifesting as such. I grant you perhaps a month before all of the connections break down and you cease to function.
Then fix it.
You could roll an intimidation on that one.
Yeah, you can roll an intimidation.
Necessary for me to drink my own urine.
What?
Yes, it is.
He's a man beast, not Bear Grylls.
That's a
It has bear in it.
Yes, but no grills.
Is he a man beast or is it a woman beast?
It's a woman beast.
See, there
There
you
is certainly no
go. We've
group.
been misgendered lady the whole time.
It's a lady.
It's a 14. You made me this way, so fix it.
I never intended you to survive this long. I certainly couldn't account for the length of survival you've had up till now, let alone in the face of such haphazardry as you committed against yourself in Egypt.
At this point, my guy is probably cursing a lot of things about how Europeans sure do like to use people for their own benefits, but it's all the Egyptians.
I stand from the table. If I'm going to die from this, I'm going to leave my mark.
And certainly
Not on me, I hope.
that shows how irresponsible those that use these dark arts tend to be.
music.
These dark arts are the very culmination of scientific advancement here in Germany.
And this is what you do with them.
Exactly.
Do you understand the lifespan of your average living wick? The held together wax body is that your design was intended to replace lasts nigh on a month at best. How long have you been active? 3, 4 years? Your condition is beyond any advancement that has been made in this field in the past decade. I deserve respect and renown for what I have done.
And what have you done?
I have created life.
And you are going to let that life,
Unnatural
you
life.
are going to let that life you have created suffer and perish with little care to its own suffering.
As I said, there is nothing I can do. The state of the soul is not my specialty.
Then you shouldn't
Then
be
you shouldn't
messing
be
with such
playing with
things.
something you don't understand.
At this point, my guy says, it sure would be pretty disappointing if all of this were to go up in flames simply because you wouldn't take the time to do some
Like
research.
a chance to
I rolled,
No.
No.
I rolled a 19 on persuasion, and I convinced him that something I have in my possession might bring down the entire lab.
He glares at you. As I said, there is little I can do.
Then
Well, a
who
list
else?
seems like a pretty good place
This
to
is not
start.
my specialty.
Then who else?
However, the nature of the soul is known more proficiently to certain subset X in this area. Okay. My former colleague, a vampiress by the name of Ivandra,
There is snickering out in the hallway.
Oh, from your character.
From Corin, yes.
Is this all from before the fall kind of situations? These characters.
Well, this is from a different campaign.
So I've run Aethertech as a campaign before. Corin and Nicola are 2 2 of the characters from that campaign. Last time we ran the campaign, we started at like level 10.
And she was a storm barbarian.
Yeah. But to return to the roleplay, she may have some inclinations as to what could be done. Her kind feed on the essence of souls, and as such, I can only suspect that perhaps such a similar ritual might help to stabilize your condition.
Would she be inclined to do this?
I wouldn't recommend bringing up his name if it was a former colleague, I say kind of snidely.
Or the name.
At this point, Corin walks in.
You are right, Smallpox, that if we brought up Nicola, she would throw us out promptly into the street. However, I am still great friends with his ex-wife, and to take you to her and probably help Yvain out. We are still good friends. Albert Kindred.
So our good doctor is a necrophiliac.
Yes, Albert looks at
Yes, that is true! Yes! Well, we've already touched on so many things in this roleplay, why not?
I feel like at this point I need a real good reason not to kill this guy.
Yeah?
That real good reason may be that he's like a level 10 in summoning
And
mage.
I would get shit canned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would get...
That reason would be that you would likely not survive.
He's probably emanating an
That
air
doesn't
of
mean you
energy
don't
that probably is intimidating to someone who's 4 levels, 5 levels.
But no, like, Corin understands the look on
I'm
your
not
face.
afraid to see twice
I
by level time.
understand you clerics, and I would probably say it's not going to work if you try to kill many players. Many have tried, all of them have failed. The only reason why he even hired me is because he doesn't like the actual killing of things. He'd rather just put them back together. Makes a face.
OOC. I can understand that at this point it's becoming increasingly hard for you to play your character. Everything we're doing is just getting more and more into, like, what the am I doing?
Because Corin is trying to, like, be nice to you.
If you think it's going to work out better for your character to either get killed off in a fight with somebody or just right on off and say nope,
If you start a fight,
you are more than welcome to roll up a new character.
Lawful Good was a really bad pick for this.
And you certainly don't have to stick with a cleric or anything. That's part of why she rolled up a doctor, was because I kind of expected you to have some trouble.
We'll stick with it for now.
Okay.
That I wanted to play doctor. But Corin kind of pats you on the back. He's like, it's okay.
Then it's settled.
I'm getting the Obi-Wan, don't try it! Out of this.
Don't mess with it!
Does he have the high ground?
I bet you what you could.
He doesn't walk on the ground, he floats.
really?
Like a prick.
Like a temple.
Like, he legitimately...
Like the tallest?
Yes.
Like a prick.
Yes, like a prick. He legitimately...
Like a plague prick. That's the worst kind.
He legitimately constantly keeps a Pinsar's floating disc beneath him so he doesn't have to float.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So he's lazy then.
I'm not scared of the floating disc.
But he does make him look like a prick.
He's 4 tensors floating discs in a few levels.
I'm more than that. Well, I'll be more than that.
Is, shoot, what's the blue-white fast one?
But no, after the
Did you
next,
put it on here?
after the ex-wife, the Albert kind of spins his head around and makes
Yeah,
a
that's more
slightly
that started.
defeated Khan noise under the mask.
Vulture's a cop.
He's not a vulture. He's a different carrion version. He's kind of a mix between like an eagle and a raven.
Out of character, or those educated in Europe would understand that Aramanu are descendants of pre-human evolutionary, pre-human species.
Oh, that's cool.
They're more closely related to raptors than most dinosaurs.
Like a velociraptor.
Yes,
I mean,
but bigger.
I mean,
More like
I mean,
a
all
Utah
birds are
raptor.
pretty closely related to
Utah raptor.
Yeah,
Not
that's
Kansas.
Yeah,
Utah raptor.
they're bigger.
That's
velociraptors.
actually what you see in Jurassic Park. Are Utah raptors, not velociraptors.
The
Velociraptors are the size of a
big.
chicken.
I want one. Can I have one?
No, I want one first. I think
There's smaller ones. There's microraptors that are even smaller.
Microraptors are cool because they have wings on both their legs and arms
Yeah.
that help them fly.
They're absolutely just wonderful.
Nice.
But
And it's about 5 to 7 feet tall.
I want.
Me too, thanks.
Give.
We all need. Okay, it's settled. We all need we all need velociraptors.
I personally want a microraptor. I think it's
It's kind of like a cat, except it mauls everything.
I want a friend with you.
This is a microraptor.
there are no friendly places.
They fly like this.
Oh, I love the baby
their
one.
legs
Okay,
down.
maybe if you have one as a baby and you teach it to be nice to you.
Okay, we're gonna get back on topic.
Not non
As
Trying.
yeah,
Give him credit.
Another thing.
Fine. So how long will this take?
you will have to discuss with her.
I mean to get there.
A short 20-minute jaunt.
Good.
Corin will take you.
And what are we waiting
Pleasure.
here?
Stares at her.
pleasure. She makes a rather large toothy grin at him.
Do not use the portal. The portal. She does not need my address.
I wasn't going to use the portal anyway.
You should totally do it.
I wasn't going to use the portal anyway. It's been broken for the last month.
You have it.
His address, like, just completely. Well, it's either we get to his ex-wife's house or we end up in a broom closet on the university property.
So.
That is
It seems
several
like that
miles
would still
away.
be closer
Okay,
than we
that's
are
a problem.
now.
Well, that's several miles away from his wife, so I will simply take you.
Alright.
Flicks her.
We could have been part of the way there if not for all the arguing.
We should go.
A 20-minute journey by a steam carriage strikes you as uneventful.
Who's driving?
The steam carriage.
Oh, it's driving itself. Okay, so I'm probably annoying everybody marveling at this.
Not now.
I will describe a few of the constructs and creatures that you see making their way through the city.
In Germany?
Natürlich.
What
first-
part of Germany are we in? Are we in Berlin?
Berlin.
We're
We're in Berlin.
The first to draw your attention looks somewhat like this. It is.
Cool.
Do any
It's
of them
about
look
the size of. They are about the size of large dogs, and Algae informs you that they are often referred to as litter crabs.
It's a devil.
I'm
they-
guessing they're trash trucks, basically.
Baby trash trucks.
They are clockwork creations with the soul of a devil bound inside them, and are used to carry out various tasks, mostly keeping the streets clean.
Devils love doing that.
Sure.
They
You said they got a choice.
You
Exactly.
Have you ever read the Bartimaeus trilogy?
I have
among
It's good.
the
You should read it.
puffs of smoke offering out of chimneys, you notice ash drakes flying back and forth.
Kitty.
Fine, kitty.
Kitty.
That's his catchphrase, by the way.
That is totally my catchphrase.
Kitty?
Yes.
It says a lot to, like, animals.
Especially if they're not cats.
Kitty.
Or they are cats.
Especially if they're living. Although they don't have to be probably actually kitty. This actually is a kitty.
It's Eldritch Abomination also, which is amazing.
It's double winking.
It's weird and I don't like it.
What's an Eldritch Abomination you don't like?
I don't like that it's winking like that. I feel it's improper.
Would you rather one eye on one side and one eye on the
As
other?
you
I'd rather not wink.
He doesn't like me.
as you make the journey, you watch as Algie pulls from his pocket a small old brass beetle and winds a pen on the back of it. It speaks a message and releases it.
Dude, I want 800,000.
They do come in swarms.
I want
That's
800,000.
what happens when you don't empty your inbox.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the spam beetle who did. That's the spam beetle who did.
Can you imagine getting like a little clockwork beetles that just like blare out porn ads to you?
It would be in a folder.
Get larger in 24 hours.
Folder.
Click, 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 click.
If I had an ad, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just throw it at the wall.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Corin does still on the journey to show you.
esteem.
Yes, she has been here,
Do you know
but she's not as much of a jerk as Nicola is.
That'd be pretty impressive.
And
That's a low bar.
true. And there are many infernals here in Germany. That most are not as careless.
As I said, it's about a 20-minute journey, and you arrive relatively quickly. You can go ahead and make another roll on the table.
Hooray! What's this number? I vanish!
Good. Problem solved, everybody.
I can manage to
Vain.
I just allow an irritated sigh. I'm still here.
Hold up. I see him disappear. I reach my arm out to where he was.
I swat your arm away.
Ow!
Albert kind
Do
of
not realize
pops
you're
his
not
head to the
visible.
side. You
know, Brawl.
This
Yeah.
is quite interesting if it wasn't slightly horrifying.
It'd be fine if it wasn't killing.
That
If it didn't
too.
hurt.
You arrive at.
at all.
I'm trying to remember the name I just used because her name changed several times in the original roleplay.
It's gonna last a minute, don't worry.
Invisibility.
Yes. Dang it, spontaneous invisibility. I hate it. Why would I do that? That's counterproductive.
I'm going with Emmeline.
Don't worry, I'll listen to it later.
You arrive-
Recording and correct you.
You arrive at Emmeline's residence, and Corin knocks on the door. Or
Emmeline! It's me! We have a boo-boo to fix from the idiot.
oh, how not again? In Corin, the door's open. Just come on in. What has he gotten himself up and into now?
It's his construct he
You
sent to the doll person.
That was quite a few many years ago. I heard that.
How
Well,
much does she look like Elvira Queen of the Night?
Yes.
well, and Corin has let everyone
Now I
in.
have to Google that.
Corin has let
You
everyone
won't be
in.
disappointed.
Well,
You don't even understand. Like the reason this character came up in the original role play was at a certain point, like
Someone
the-
wanted to play Elvira Queen of the Night.
no, this was not a player character.
I mean, Queen of the Darkness.
She
Queen of Darkness.
What?
she
Oh, baby.
because I enjoy allowing people to piece things together, he wanted the player playing Nicola wanted to summon a vampire queen, but he couldn't figure out how to do. But he didn't. It's
But how
too
do you-
high level a spell for what he had. So instead, I let him cobble together some other spells to create a ritual of summon ex-wife. And it was established that she basically subbed at the university teaching various classes,
Mostly
and so
history.
What kind of sub?
every time they summoned her, she was in a different outfit. The outfit being the fetish version of whatever she was teaching.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's fantastic.
And she was.
That was not part of the spell. That was just how she taught in last time we played.
And she was the
I'm
person
not
who got the most
necessarily
kids out.
running it that way this time, but
It
Okay,
was
thank
funny.
you.
That's hilarious.
Going back. Yes, well, it seems that the construct, the vein, has come back, and it seems the soul is ripping itself apart, like I told him it would.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't listen.
He doesn't
Vane.
care.
hey, the piece to get the one.
Yes.
My dear, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. She bows and extends her hand.
I reluctantly oblige.
That's probably more respect than you received.
At which point you realize that how did she know where you were? You're still invisible.
Oh, that's a minute.
It's only been a minute.
Oh.
It's a vampire.
Yeah,
Vampires anyway.
I do apologize for Nicholas's. No, I don't. He's a terrible human being. You can still call him that.
Despite everything, I like her.
She's got charm.
If you say this to Corin,
Now, what seems to be the problem? Roll on the table again.
Whenever someone asks,
Why do you look for him and not for her?
It's almost like it's poetically staged.
it's a very long story, full of many, many contracts.
There.
Oh, so the second set of Star Wars sequels.
Oh.
I'm no expert, but
You
apparently my
don't do
stitched together soul is falling apart.
What was your
21.
Nothing happened.
Well, I mean, that's obvious.
But
Oh,
you get
dear.
the hiccups.
an ailment of the soul? I can see why he would have sent you in my direction. Dear. Come with me. She motions you to follow her down the hallway and pulls a book from the wall, opening a passageway. I apologize, as I tend to keep things somewhat hidden, and I don't like the litocrats and such invading my personal space.
My guy would probably be, now that he's a little more calmed at the atmosphere again, probably looking around.
I'm mostly barely containing my disgust.
I just nod.
But trying to not
my
say
head.
anything, because she is helping our friend.
And she is much nicer
Our
than
friend, we don't
That's
really
true.
know
That
what
other
your
guy was a dick.
Yeah.
Which is mostly why I haven't said anything rude yet.
Does Corin say her goodbyes and head back?
She can stick around if she wants.
I'm asking DM. You want to keep Corin around?
Too intrigued.
Corin, would you mind keeping an eye above? I think I may have students coming in by later for certain endeavors. Turn them away when they arrive. Offer them tea if they like.
I can do that. I'd rather be at your home than his.
Wouldn't we all? She takes you down the passage, down a spiral staircase to a room decorated in what you expected to be very traditional vampiric fashion. Instead, it is essentially a bright pink laboratory.
Nice. I dig it.
I just laugh. Like, my character just starts laughing uncontrollably.
Alfred is bemused. Doesn't say anything.
I
It's
prefer to
just
keep
bemused.
certain things to myself.
My character hasn't quite
Well-
seen such bright colors in a long time because the colored dyes that would have been in Europe at this time wouldn't have traveled. Well, they might have traveled, but they'd be very expensive outside of Europe.
Well, I have to say it's not as dreary as the last place we were in.
That's part of the point. I spent far too long in dealings with.
If you don't mind, that is how I'm going to refer to the man now. It's just ugh, and with a slight click of her beak. That is.
I have plenty other choice names if you can't hear them. But aside, Evelyn, if you would mind sitting down in the chair. Over there. She motions to a very plush and lavish, but very pink armchair.
I'm feeling a bit more relaxed, and I do so.
Does anything here look cursed to me?
How would you know?
Pretty much everything.
Nothing looks
Also,
terribly
her?
evil and cursed.
Okay, well then, if I find books, I'm probably going to try and read them if I can find them at all.
They're just pink. Everything
Sure,
is
what's that?
pink.
Yeah.
My character's twisted.
TV is dead.
Who?
She pulls from a ornately decorated box a syringe and a small vial. Oh,
Is it orange?
it is not. If you right, dear, I'm going to take a blood sample. As you understand, and the vampire's work is mostly in dealings with blood. It tends to be a good semblance to what is going on with the soul.
I don't see what I have to lose.
I would also say I have also taken a sample earlier, and it seems mostly, no offense, but sewage garbage in the bloodstream. I would
Perhaps
a lot of fun.
cares. Perhaps we will compare some samples. How long ago was yours taken?
I believe it was on the trip over here, so she takes out a watch, looks at, or he takes out a ornate brass watch,
She carefully finds your
and seems
vein,
to be calculating a time scale.
painlessly makes it pierces with the needle and draws a small sample of blood, places it in
More
the vial,
carefully than
and
the
takes it. And takes it. Oh,
What, needed a quick drink,
How-
did you?
How long was the...
most certainly not.
Isn't that what you people do?
I would assume that this was... She's much
We will
more
have this
precise.
discussion later, but while I understand your misgivings about my kind, I would like to point out that not one of us chose this life. Vampirism is a genetic mutation that became rampant after the fall. It was not my decision to become a vampiress. I was simply born into this life. I have done my best in dealing with it. And for the record, I drink the blood only of willing donors, yes, and of animals. Oops.
In my research also, it seems vampirism is much more of a blood disorder than anything else.
There is truth to that, but
Possibly
it
related
extends into the nature of the soul as well. Now,
But
there's some theories that it's tied to infernal or magics, but I've not found direct evidence of this.
Either way,
Regardless, my condition is not what is of concern.
no, it is a...
She
the
places a sample and asks Albert for her sample into
He hands it to her from his bag.
into a relatively strange device that begins to spin.
Albert makes a small gesture. Oh, this must be one of the newer models. The university hasn't bought one of the newer models, so I must have to deal with one of the older ones that I've had to piece together.
I manage a certain profitable salary myself. No, I try to use it to keep up with the latest technologies.
If only the university had that money to buy these machines.
Now,
He clicks his beak longingly.
after a few minutes, she pulls the vials out and inspects their separation. Clearly, there's unnatural state into your soul. Your blood makes it clear. My best recommendation in this case would be, well, there's a few things you could do. First and foremost, there is a ritual, or that is known, that can transmit the vampiric disease. It is because vampires use the nature of blood to feed on soul structure and maintain the inconsistent growth of the unstable sense of their own. Such a similar process might allow you to naturally stabilize your soul. However, the vampiric life is not necessarily a pleasant one at all.